Hokage. I can evolve summoning beasts. Chapter 81. 3 months later. Bison looked at the 100 thunder tree leaves he had obtained, and a little satisfaction appeared in his eyes. This thunder tree leaf looked like a lavender maple leaf, but there were several lightning patterns on the leaf surface, which looked quite nice. After calling Xuanlei to the basement, Bison said directly to Xuanlei, "You have performed well in the past 3 months." Single quote. "So I decided to grant you evolution now, so that you can gain more powerful power and make you more perfect." Quote. It must be said that Zunli is indeed very honest and obedient. In addition, with the support of Jiafeng, Shadow, and Hong Yi, Zunli is really diligent in his practice. At this time, the diligent Zunli bowed his head respectfully to Bison. Ji. In this sound, Bison heard respect and obedience. "Thank you, master." Looking at Zunli's reaction, Bison nodded with satisfaction, and then cast his eyes on Zunli's system attribute page. Summoning Beast. Zunli. Race. King Ant. Talent. Huge Strength. Beetle Wings. Shared Heaven 21 Gifts. Intelligence. Evolvable. Evolution Requirement. Thunder Tree Leaves 100 pieces. Whether to evolve. Looking at the 4 big words at the bottom, Bison made his choice without any hesitation. Evolve. Quote. Just when Bison made his choice, the gray and chaotic evolutionary light reappeared from the void. But in an instant, the evolutionary light flashed in the void and directly covered the 100 leaves of the thunder tree. In the next moment, crackle, crackle, crackle. Lightning and thunder, the 100 leaves of the thunder tree almost instantly turned into a head-sized lavender lightning ball. The dense lavender electric currents, like thunder snakes, entangled, gathered, and intertwined, appearing extremely dense. Coupled with the dazzling lavender electric light, this head-sized lightning ball looks unusually extraordinary. In an instant, the lightning ball passed through the void, but in the blink of an eye, the lightning ball fell on Zunli's body, and then wrapped and covered Zunli in an instant. The Zunli bathed in this lavender lightning. It has to be said that it is really very Hokage, full of momentum, majestic and powerful. Hokage is unparalleled. In addition, Zunli is very similar to a centaur. With his body straight, he really looks like a general on horseback, and he is a general on horseback bathed in lightning. Crackle, crackle, crackle. As the sound of electric current continued to sound, Zunli, bathed in lightning, also began its evolution. The insect armor transformed, the insect wings stretched, and the body expanded. However, in a breath, Zunli, which was only 1 meter long, turned into 3 meters long. Even if the upper body is upright, it is not short, and it is about the same height as Guangxuan now. After all, the body structure is different. This is also a very normal thing. As Zunli's transformation was completed, the lavender lightning all over his body also quickly converged into Zunli's body. When all the strange images disappeared, Zunli's evolution was completely completed. As the evolution was completed, a series of system prompts sounded directly in Bison's mind. Ding! Evolution is completed. Opening Summoning Beast Attribute Page. Opening. Summoning Beast. Thunder. Race. Thunder King Ant. Talent. Lightning Style Affinity. Thunder Power. Lightning Coverage. Shared Talent. Intelligence. Evolvable. Evolution Requirement. Thor's Sword 1. Just after the attribute page popped up, the system prompt sounded. Ding! Power. Talent Shared. The power surged, and the power flowed through the whole body, all over the body, limbs and bones, like a stream of electric current flashing through. While giving Bison a tingling sensation, it also made Bison continue to become stronger. When the power and talent were shared, Bison opened his eyes again. Bison's eyes could not help but flash a bit of joy. This power is really too strong. The Thunder King Ant is indeed worthy of being called the Thunder King Ant. Such power is nearly 100 tons. Although the weight of a 100-meter-high mountain is 10 million tons, source. Baidu, with detailed calculations, and although there are many machines with considerable power. But this nearly 100 tons of power is still very terrifying for humans. This time, Bison's power will not be a shortcoming. What's more, Thunder can evolve a second, third, or even fourth time. Of course, it doesn't mean that Thunder is very strong because of its great power. Thunder is an ant. Just think about the body structure of an ant and you will know that Thunder's combat power is not as powerful and terrifying as the number 283 represents. After thinking for a moment, Baisan's eyes were cast on Thunder's talents. Needless to say, the two talents of lightning style affinity and thunder power. Baisan has already experienced the three talents of wind style affinity, Yindun affinity, and fire style affinity, and the lightning style affinity talent is just the same. As for the talent of thunder power, Baisan has also felt it. Strands of electric current flowed through his body, strengthening his already not weak strength, making this strength even stronger. So, Baisan's attention was focused on the last talent obtained after the Thunderbolt evolution. Lightning cover. Baisan knew what this talent meant by just hearing the name. He could release lightning and let it cover a certain target. The body can definitely cover it. Then what about weapons? If melee weapons can be covered with lightning, then can throwing weapons be covered with lightning to attack? How can it be? That would be very strong. Thinking of this, Baisan couldn't wait to start trying it. Crack, crack, crack. Accompanied by the sound of thunder, the lavender lightning has completely covered the palm of Baisan's outstretched right hand. Lightning flashes, electric currents intersect, and the sound of lightning continues. Such a momentum really looks like Chidori. It seems that there is no problem with covering my body with lightning. And this power really makes me happy. Gathering lightning in the palm is just like Chidori. If it is improved a little, it may be comparable to the lightning style mode of Hokage. Thunder armor. Then using the bird as a template to develop some derivative moves, it would be great. But these are all things in the future. Now let's continue to try the specific ability of this talent of lightning coverage. Just like that, Baisan also took out a small sword. This is the small sword that Baisan uses for cooking. Because there is a small word, it is about the length of a fruit knife, 20 centimeters. The next moment, Baisan mobilized chakra and activated the talent of lightning coverage. Crackle, crackle, crackle. There was another burst of lightning and thunder, lightning, current, and sound, and the momentum was still extraordinary. Looking at the small sword covered by the lavender lightning, Baisan nodded gently and said, "It can be covered on the blade, but I don't know if it can be used for throwing." With a sound, Baisan threw the small sword in his hand at the iron statue in front of Baisan that Baisan used for practice without hesitation. Who? The whistling sound of the wind sounded, and the lavender lightning drew a beautiful straight line in the void, like a meteor across the sky. But in an instant, the lightning blade fell on the iron statue. Duo. The tip of the blade penetrated 3 centimeters into the iron statue, and the dense lavender current spread to the limbs of the iron statue like tiny lightning snakes in an instant, and then quickly disappeared. That's right, this lightning-covered talent is more powerful than I thought. You know, this statue is made of Thai iron, and its hardness is not small. Although I didn't use my full strength just now, the electricity did speed up the speed and power of the flying. And the last electric current spread is enough to produce paralysis and other effects. If it is improved, it may be able to directly detonate the lightning. In that case, the power will be earth-shattering. After all, explosion is art. As he spoke, Zan also smiled slightly. Now that these 3 talents have been tested, it's time to take a look at the current Zunli. When Baisan cast his eyes on Zunli, Zunli also quickly, respectfully, and awe-inspiringly lowered his head, making a submissive and obedient look. I have to say that the feeling of evolution really shocked Zunli. Such power, such a feeling, it's really too refreshing. My master actually has such a woo. And I am so lucky to meet the master. And the action of the master just now, isn't this my innate ability? Since Baisan can control my innate ability, he can naturally control the innate abilities of Gale, Red Clothes, and Shadow. In this way, my master is too strong. When I meet such a master, I naturally have to be obedient. As long as I do well and satisfy the master will definitely let me evolve again. Gas, Shadow, Red Clothes, they must have evolved many times to be so powerful. That's right. This is the truth. I must work hard to show myself, be obedient, satisfy the master, and get the second, third, or even more evolutions. This really makes me look forward to it. Thinking like this, the respectful Zunli couldn't help but show a bit of flattering attitude. This attitude really looks a bit like Gale, and Baizan is very satisfied. After a slight pause, Baizan continued to say, "It's good to feel my ability. You should have seen that I can let you evolve through evolutionary materials. Go and practice, practice hard, and become stronger. The stronger you are, the higher the probability that I will get evolutionary materials, and the faster you can get the second evolution, even the third evolution, or even the fourth evolution." Quote. Hearing Baizan's words, Xuanlei also lowered his head obediently, and shouted respectfully, "Squeak! Squeak!" The meaning of this shout is naturally, "Yes, my master. Go." Baizan gave the last order, and Xuanlei turned around and left respectfully. When Xuanlei left, Baizan finally remembered the evolutionary materials needed for Xuanlei's second evolution. Evolutionary requirements. Thunder God Sword 1. The evolutionary material required for Xuanlei's second evolution, amazing, is the Thunder God Sword. After all, Xuanlei is of Thunder attribute, which is reasonable. Quote. This Thunder God Sword is a personal sword used by the second Hokage. It really takes some effort to get it. 17. Actually, this Thor's sword is also fancy. It looks like a lightsaber. Inputting chakra can turn lightning into a sword. It is said that the stronger the user, the stronger the Thor's sword, but the strong do not need the Thor's sword, and the Thor's sword is not strong in the hands of the weak. I remember that the Thor's sword was in the hands of a small rebel ninja, and even Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Naruto were able to break the Thor's sword with Chidori and Rasengan. But it is precisely because of this. Danzo should be able to get this Thor's sword easily. Mumbling like this, Baizan went to inform Danzo. While Baizan was waiting for Danzo to get the Thunder God sword, Baizan got an important piece of news. Might Guy finally met Rock Lee, a boy who looked like Might Guy's son. Not only did they look alike, their personalities were similar, and even their talents were very similar. The only difference between Rock Lee and Might Guy was that Rock Lee was not only talented in ninjutsu, but he was also unable to control ninjutsu. But that was nothing. Specializing in taijutsu and 8 inner gates could also make one a strong man. Speaking of which, Might Guy, Rock Lee, and Uzumaki Naruto, these 3 guys really get along well. Shouting about youth, they are really full of energy. It is precisely because of this that Baizan Shu's time is becoming more and more lively. Of course, combining work and rest is the best way. During the period, in order to welcome Rock Lee, Baizan specially reported a picnic barbecue. Might Guy, Kakashi, Tenten, Hinata, Naruto, Sasuke, and Rock Lee. Including Baizan, there are 8 people. It's still quite cheerful. Sasuke, who was eating barbecue, seemed to have a little more ease and joy on his face. Baizan was relieved. It seems. He really changed Sasuke. This reincarnation of Indra should not be able to escape his control. As for Naruto, the reincarnation of Ashura, he naturally fell long ago. Whether it's training or entertainment. For Baizan, the most important thing is the evolutionary materials needed for the evolution of summoning beast. Danzo is worthy of being the dark of the ninja world, and it didn't take too much effort to get the Thunder God sword. So soon, Baizan got the Thunder God sword. However, after getting it, Zunli still needs to be trained more. After controlling his own strength and talent, Baizan gave it a second evolution. So, Baizan continued to enjoy the college life, and continued to study and practice hard. In the past 2 years, Baizan has read the knowledge scrolls given to him by Sarutobi Hiruzen, the knowledge scrolls given to him by Uchiha Itachi, and various sea-beat knowledge obtained from Shimura Danzo. Now Baizan has a general understanding of the nature of chakra, the function of ninja seals, life, cells, spirit, the essence of ninjutsu, taijutsu, genjutsu, barrier technique, sealing technique, medical treatment. All of these have been understood. But it is not deep enough. Among all these, the biggest gain for Baizan is the experimental data of Senju Tobarama. Soul, death, space. I have to say that this kind of energy is really amazing. It is simply an omnipotent energy. Almost everything can be pried, influenced, utilized, and controlled by chakra. Senju Tobarama is really a genius. While looking at an experimental data on the fusion of chakra properties, Baizan couldn't help but sigh. Because the evolutionary material required for the fourth evolution of Shadow is Truth-Seeking Ball. In addition, he can obtain all attributes by sharing power and talent with the summoning beast. So Bison naturally has to prepare for the relevant matters of attribute fusion. He also said that he could easily fuse the blood continuation net with his talent alone, and he must master the relevant knowledge before he can fuse the blood continuation net. The swan only gave Bison the foundation for fusing the blood continuation net. Just like humans have a mouth, but if you don't put food in your mouth, you can't eat it. Talent allows Bison to have a mouth that can fuse the blood continuation net. But in order to fuse the blood continuation net, Bison also needs relevant knowledge as a tool to put the food into the mouth. But no matter what, Bison is now learning about the knowledge related to chakra attribute fusion and plans to experiment. Let's not talk about special bloodline limits like Sharingan, Byakugan, Dead Bone Pulse. All jutsu-type bloodline limits are born from the fusion of attributes. Even Wood style is a fusion of King style Water style from common sense. But Senju Hashirama is definitely not common sense. According to Senju Tobarama's research, Senju Hashirama's Wood style is a fusion of Earth style, Water style, and Yang style. In addition, Senju Hashirama has a sage body and Ashura chakra. Not only does he have a terrifying amount of chakra, he can also enter sage mode at any time. With such multiple blessings, Senju Hashirama's Wood style is so powerful. So in essence, trapped style is actually a kind of bloodline elimination. And because Senju Hashirama's innate advantages are so strong, Wood style is so much stronger than Onoki's Dust style. But even so, the power of Dust style is terrifying. It can crush matter into atoms. If Onoki's chakra is not too little, he can't use Dust style on a large scale, and there are not many Dust style moves. Dust style wouldn't be so much worse than Wood style. If Senju Hashirama can use Dust style, the attack will not be stronger than Trapped style. Anyway, attribute fusion is really powerful. Compare the power of bloodline limit and bloodline elimination, and you will know that every time you fuse one more attribute, the bloodline born will be many times stronger than the original. So I still have a long way to go. Quote. Whispering in a low voice, Bison couldn't help but sigh. Then, Bison directly stretched out his right hand, made a supporting motion, and then mobilized chakra, as well as the two talents of storm power and blazing fox fire. In an instant, red flames rose, and the whistling storm swept. The two were entangled in an instant, turning into a ball of bright orange flames. This is a special explosion that is more powerful than the scorch style of Yi Kang, wind and fire, and weaker than the scorch style formed by Liao, fire and electric city, used by Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke. After all, storm power and blazing fox fire are not ordinary wind and fire. It is precisely because of this. The ball of scorch-style fire in Bison's hand is higher than the bloodline limit, but lower than the bloodline elimination. The power of the Holy Phoenix soaring, which is performed by using this scorch-style fire, should be similar to the Day Tiger released by Might Guy after opening the 7th gate of the 8 inner gates. Such power is already strong enough. The Holy Phoenix soaring is an upgrade of the Wind Bird soaring. And the Wind Bird soaring is a derivative move of the Storm Mode Wind style suit. Since I have merged Wind style and Fire style to form Scorch style, I should be able to upgrade the Storm Mode Wind style suit. If the upgrade is successful, it may be called Scorch style mode Scorch Holy suit, which is just right for the room Phoenix soaring. Mumbling to himself, Bison nodded gently. Bison was very satisfied with the name of this secret technique. After a moment of silence, Bison continued, there is also the move of Holy Phoenix soaring. Maybe I can continue to deduce it and create other better moves. Or based on Holy Phoenix soaring, create a set of Holy Phoenix fluid spell. Quote. Speaking of this, Bison couldn't help but think of Hyuga Hinata. To be honest, Hyuga Hinata trusts Bison very much. And the ability of Yin Dun control is, in a sense, mental control. Or it can be said to be a mental power, which allows Bison to do many things. For example, detection, insight, mental transmission, telekinesis, and many other messy abilities. Through the innate ability of Yin Dun control, Bison also has some of the abilities of the White Eye. Although there are two types of physical arts, Gokwon and Gentle Fist. But Gokwon can be learned by anyone, but Gentle Fist requires the white eye as a foundation. The Gentle Fist here is called Gentle Fist, but it is not a soft way to overcome hardness, and it uses chakra to attack the meridian system of chakra flow structure in the human body. Because the meridian system is in the human body, it can only be seen and attacked by relying on the ability of the white eye's perspective eyes. It is also because of this that only with the white eye can you control Gentle Fist. In fact, Bai Zan feels that all eye-related bloodline limits may be considered an evolution of Yin Dun. By controlling this ability through Yin Dun, Bai Zan can also see the meridian system. In addition, Bai Zan's talent is really good, so Bai Zan has mastered a considerable part of the Gentle Fist secret. Since you want to create a set of physical skills, you naturally need to learn from each other, adopt the essence of various schools, and integrate the secrets of Gokwon Gentle Fist to create a relatively perfect physical school. Speaking of which, as I continue to recover summoning beasts, I will control more and more attributes. And because I want to fuse bloodline nets, I will also try to continuously fuse bloodline limits with 2 attributes mixed, and bloodline elimination with 3 attributes mixed. Even 4 attributes mixed, 5 attributes mixed, and even 6 attributes mixed bloodline. Single quote. In this process, my attributes may continue to change. Quote. After all, wind style plus fire style is scorch style, so what is a yin dun plus, and what is a lightning style? So I should create a set of physical skills with very strong tolerance. So that no matter what attribute of chakra I use, I can use the physical skills perfectly. As long as the bones do not change, the skin can be blessed at will, which is similar to the relationship between heroes and skins in League of Legends. Of course, every time I change my skin, it is equivalent to the sublimation of the power of physical skills. So let me think about how I should create it. Quote. While muttering like this, Bai Zan also fell into deep thought and began to think about the knowledge he mastered. Since taijutsu is called taijutsu, it is naturally based on the body, supplemented by chakra. Since it is based on the body, Bai Zan thought about how to develop his body. In this world with chakra, the human body really contains many mysteries. For example, chakra flows in the human body and has a meridian system. And the meridian system made Bai Zan think of the setting of martial arts. In fact, ninjas have not studied or used the meridian system. Tsunade's 100 healings mark is based on the meridian system. When chakra circulates in the body to form a meridian system, the chakra is collected and accumulated on the forehead through the sealing technique, thereby forming a diamond-shaped mark on the forehead. When needed, the seal is released through the seal release ninjutsu, 100 healings mark hyphenation point release, to release a large amount of chakra. Bai Zan, who has learned about the sealing technique, naturally knows the difficulty of the 100 healings mark technique. The ability to control chakra, the human body, and the degree of understanding of the meridian system were all very high. This is why only Uzumaki Mito, Tsunade, and Haruno Sakura can learn it. Uzumaki Mito is not to mention, Tsunade and Haruno Sakura are both from the same lineage, and their ability to control chakra is very strong, and they are both very skilled medical ninjas. It is precisely because of this that they can control the 100 healings mark technique. In Bai Zan's view, the 100 healings mark technique is really like the dantian, as a cause chakra storage organ. Or a battery. Also, Sunagakure Shira created a secret technique called 7 days breathing method, which can activate the whole body by absorbing a large amount of oxygen. When Shira uses this technique, the lung capacity is about 4 times that of normal times, and the oxygen and chakra are used to activate the body, which greatly strengthens the body of the caster. Since chakra can strengthen lung function, it should be able to strengthen the functions of other internal organs. In addition to the 7 days breathing method that strengthens lung function, there is also the 8 inner gates that can open the 8 gates of the human body, and the mode that can use electricity to strengthen the body. Put all these things together. Meridians, internal organs, muscles, bones, 8 gates, 100 healings mark. Maybe this is the physical technique that Bai Zan wants to create. The amount of knowledge is still not enough, I still need to continue learning. And I am too greedy. I actually want to combine so many secret level spells together. The difficulty is really imaginable. It's difficult, too difficult. But for me, it may not be completely impossible. As long as the talents are stacked enough, it will definitely be completed. But that is a long way off. As for now, let's develop more Scorch style moves and try to integrate Yin Dun into Scorch style. After a long sigh, Baizan continued to look at the scroll in his hand. Learning is also very important. That's it. In the following period of time, Baizan lived a very peaceful life. Study, practice, research, train animals, and have fun and relax. Under Baizan's training, Xuanlei's strength increased really fast. Ants are just ants after all, and beasts are just beasts after all. If you don't train, you can't fight against ninjas at all. After all, chakra, as an energy, and all kinds of strange skills, are enough to make most beasts defenseless. Only after training, only after mastering the skills of fighting, and all kinds of powerful moves, using chakra, can beasts have strong combat power. And because of Xuanlei's own strength, talent, and body structure. In order to enhance Xuanlei's combat power, Baizan also specially made a weapon for Xuanlei with Tiangong. That is a Fang Tian Huaji. This Fang Tian Huaji is a powerful ninja tool, forged with precious materials such as lightning stone, 100 forged steel, and 1000-weight iron. Lightning stone is the metal that conducts lightning-style chakra, which can conduct lightning-style attributes. Chakra, and even strengthen the quality of lightning-style chakra. Needless to say, 100 forged steel is made of the best quality iron ore produced in this world, which is not only very hard, but also extremely tough. And 1000 heavy iron is a very heavy ore. After all, Zunli's power is too strong. If it is used for weightlifting, it is nearly 100 tons, to be precise, it is a little more than 97 tons. Although this numerical standard cannot be used for weapons. But there is absolutely no problem using a weapon weighing 7 or 8 tons in Zunli. Ruyi Jingu Bang weighs 13,500 jin. Equivalent to 6,750 kilograms, which is also equal to 6.75 tons. And the Fang Tian Huaji, forged by Baizan for Zunli, has a net weight of 7.2 tons. This is 4.5 tons heavier than Ruyi Jingu Bang. Well, you can imagine the power of this Fang Tian Huaji. More importantly, Baizan also learned some special secret techniques. This Fang Tian Huaji can adjust the size. This also saves the problem that after Xuanlei evolves, his body becomes larger and this Fang Tian Huaji cannot be used. As for the question of whether this Fang Tian Huaji will be too light after Xuanlei evolves and his strength increases. Well, although this world is very magical. But it is not an easy thing to forge a Fang Tian Huaji with a net weight of 7.2 tons. Thanks to Tian Gang's Su Gang method taught by Baizan, plus the unique forging method of this world, and various precious materials, Tian Gang can forge this Fang Tian Huaji. To be honest, this Fang Tian Huaji is really precious in all senses. The problem of size can also be solved by secret techniques. But it is really difficult to increase the weight. However, Baizan thinks that there is no way to solve the weight problem. Baizan remembers that Tsuchikage has some precious earth-style ninjutsu. Earth-style heavy rock technique, Earth-style super heavy rock technique, Earth-style light and heavy rock technique, Earth-style super light and heavy rock technique. These Earth-style ninjutsu can affect gravity and adjust the weight of matter. If Baizan can obtain these secret techniques in the future, or if Baizan's future Earth attribute summoning beast has similar talents, Baizan may be able to solve the weight problem of this Fang Tian Huaji. Adjust gravity to adapt to the power increase after Xuanlei's evolution. 9 months have passed since Xuanlei's first evolution. At this time, in the forest, Xuanlei, who is like a centaur, or a general on horseback, is holding a Fang Tian Huaji, stopping his upper body, and looking at the opposite Ji Feng with a firm look. Baizan stood aside, while Hong Yi and Shadow were constantly practicing. Let's start. Baizan gave orders calmly. As Baizan finished speaking, Xuanlei activated the talent of lightning coverage. But in an instant, Xuanlei's whole body and the Fang Tian Huaji in his hand were covered by the lavender lightning. Beetle wings, and Fang Tian Huaji. It has to be said. Xu Lei in this posture is so handsome and so haki. But it's a pity. Both handsomeness and haki are not combat power. Although the power of Gale is not as strong as that of Xu Lei, Gale's speed is faster than Xu Lei. And Gale has a talent called Storm Combat Body that can turn his body into a storm. In addition, in this world, Wind style restrains Lightning style. 0.7 and Gale evolved twice, while Xu Lei only evolved once. It can be said that Gale's combat power is more stable than Xu Lei. But the purpose of Bai Zan letting Gale and Xu Lei fight is to let Gale suppress Xu Lei, so that Xu Lei can quickly adapt to the battle and quickly become stronger. At that moment, Xu Lei's entire body, including the Fang Tian Hua Ji in his hand, was covered by lightning. Ji Feng also directly activated the talent of Storm Combat Body, and turned into a ball of storm. Woof! Squeak! Two powerful calls sounded. But in an instant, the violent storm roared towards Xu Lei and raged away. Xu Lei, bathed in lightning, flapped his wings and raised the Fang Tian Hua Ji high. Facing the howling storm, Zunli directly slashed down the high-raised Fang Tian Hua Ji fiercely. However, in an instant, the lavender lightning gathered into a blade shape, making a nearly 1-meter-long lightning blade fly out. This is a variation of Uchiha Shisui's Uchiha Ryu ninja sword technique. Uchiha Shisui slashed out with a flame blade, and Zunli slashed out with a lightning blade. The 1-meter-long lightning blade broke through the wind and was about to cut Jiafeng in half after passing through the void. But it was a pity. Jiafeng was in the state of a storm combat body at this time, and his body was storm-like. Although lightning could slightly affect the storm, it was just an influence. The stormer, gathering and dispersing invisibly. Such a lightning blade could not cause any harm to Jiafeng at all. The gust of wind that had already arrived in front of Xu Lei spun like a gyroscope. Suddenly, hundreds of 1-meter-long wind blades broke through the air and covered Xu Lei. Swoosh! 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 21. This is a variation of wind style Thousand Faces wind, which reduces the number of wind blades and makes the small wind blades larger. Originally, nearly 1,000 small wind blades only as long as the palm of a hand were slashed out all over the sky. And now, hundreds of 1-meter-long wind blades whizzed through the void. At such a close distance, with such a fast and sharp 100 wind blades, Xu Lei's expression did not panic at all. It should have faced hundreds of such attacks in these days. The next moment, Xu Lei waved the Fang Tian Hua Ji. The entire Fang Tian Hua Ji was completely covered by lavender lightning. With the swift swing of thunder, the lavender lightning crisscrossed in an instant, turning into a dense, dazzling lightning net. And the Fang Tian Hua Ji, when swung like this, swept up gusts of wind, and the interweaving of wind and thunder was even more domineering and magnificent. Bang! 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 Extremely dense explosions sounded, and hundreds of wind blades almost instantly hit the lightning net formed by the swing of Fang Tian Hua Ji. The last explosion sounded in 10 very short times. The aftermath rippled out, and the wind, thunder and lightning spread and raged in all directions. For a while, sand and rocks flew, dust and smoke rose, wind blades and lightning raged on the ground, but in an instant, dense and hideous scars appeared, spreading, diffused, and rushed. After Jiafeng made a casual attack, he continued to attack, and with a wave of his dog claws, countless wind blades raged and whistled, cutting through the airflow and tearing the air. When he opened his mouth and spit out, a wind-style spiral heavy artillery bombardment like Rasengan flew, carrying amazing energy, bombing towards Zunli. Facing Jiafeng's easy and free, but such dense and fierce attacks, Zunli had already gotten used to it during these days of training. That's why Zunli continued to use 4 pairs of insect legs and a pair of insect wings on his back to cover the lightning and move quickly. Hide if you can. While dodging, Zunli also continued to wave the Fang Tian Hua Ji in his hand. I don't know how magnificent the Fang Tian Hua Ji is under the cover of lightning. In addition, Zunli also learned the lightning-style version of Uchiha Ryu ninja swordsmanship, and from time to time he could slash out a lightning blade to expand the attack range. It was precisely because of this. Zunli barely survived under the attack of Jiafeng's wind blade wind cannon. And it seemed that he could hold on for quite a while. Bai Zan, who was watching this scene, nodded gently, and murmured in his heart, Not bad, not bad, both Jiafeng and Zunli are very good. Jiafeng's control of the storm is becoming more and more relaxed, and Jiafeng's application of the technique is becoming more and more handy. Such a wind blade may be upgraded to a vacuum blade in the future, and the power can be greatly improved. After all, the sharpness of the vacuum blade is not comparable to that of the wind blade. What's more, this world still has basic physical laws. The wind blade can be restrained by fire, but the vacuum blade is enough to shatter the fire, so there is no need to worry about the chakra effect of fire style restraining wind style. Quote. There is also the wind style spiral heavy cannon technique, which can be upgraded in the future to become a wind style spiral shuriken comparable to Naruto's Sage State, so that both the attack power and the attack range can achieve a qualitative leap. After all, the expansion, explosion, strangulation and cutting of the wind style spiral shuriken after attacking the target are really amazing. After commenting on the wind, Bison also turned his eyes to the direction of thunder, carefully observing thunder's strength. After a moment of hesitation, Bison nodded with satisfaction, and then continued to murmur in his heart, I have to say that Uchiha's swordsmanship is really useful. This kind of attack is really suitable for using weapons to attack. Whether it is ninja swordsmanship or ninja body skills, they are always more in line with my heart. Because of his body structure, his own strength and talent, Zunli is naturally suitable for using long-handled weapons. Among all long-handled weapons, the Feng Tian Hua Ji is the most domineering after all. It emphasizes both skills and strength, and combined with the power of thunder and lightning, it is really powerful and cool. But now Zunli only knows a lightning-style version of Uchiha-style ninja swordsmanship, and cannot bring out the full function of Feng Tian Hua Ji. After I create all the lightning styles, the derivative lightning style of lightning style, and teach Zunli, Zunli will be able to bring out the full power of Feng Tian Hua Ji. Chidori blade, Chidori sharp spear, Tiandori style. In Bison's imagination, Xuan Lei, who holds the Feng Tian Hua Ji, should be able to release powerful techniques no matter how he uses the Feng Tian Hua Ji. One stab is the Chidori sharp spear, where lightning condenses into a spear and penetrates everything, or even an upgraded version of the Chidori sharp spear. One shake is the Chidori flow, where lightning spreads and attacks on a large scale, or an upgraded version of the Chidori flow. Another slash is the lightning-style version of the Uchiha ninja sword technique, and he should even develop powerful moves such as Sword Leaping Flame, Wild Wind Sword, and even Dance of the Sun Halo, like Uchiha Shisui. In this way, Xuan Lei will be able to exert the full function of the Feng Tian Hua Ji. As for now, he is too young. But there is no rush. After all, it has not been long since Bison recaptured Xuan Lei, and Xuan Lei still has time to grow. Just when Bison was thinking, Xuan Lei's physical strength and chakra were almost consumed. As Jiafeng fired a wind-style spiral heavy cannon at Feng Tian Hua Ji, Zunli staggered and lost. Okay, the training is over. Looking at this scene, Rishuan gave an order directly. As Bison's order sounded, Jiafeng quickly recovered his flesh and blood body, and then turned to look at Bison, while lowering his head to wait for orders. After taking a quick breath, Zunli also turned around quickly, while lowering his head to wait for orders. Today's training is over, Jiafeng, Zunli, Hongyi, Shadow, we are going back. Bison shouted loudly. It fell with Bison's voice. Bathed in the red fire, Hongyi quickly retracted the red fire all over his body, and then his body shrank to the size of a cat in an instant, and then ran over. 6 long red tails swaying in the wind, it was really cute. As for Shadow, it was still the cohesive figure with great momentum. All the shadows in the forest were condensed into thousands of crows after a fluctuating sound. Puff, 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 puff. Accompanied by a burst of intensive flapping of wings, these thousands of shadow crows flew quickly, and then gathered together, and finally condensed into the shadow figure. Then, Bison took the 4 summoning beasts back home. That night, Bison called Xuan Lei to the basement. You should have guessed that you have performed well recently and your strength has increased rapidly, so I think you should be granted a second evolution. Bison said to Xuan Lei calmly. Listening to Bison's words, Xuan Lei's eyes couldn't help but reveal an extremely strong joy. Hey! After calling out, Xuan Lei quickly lowered his head, showing a respectful and submissive attitude. Seeing Zunli's reaction, Bison nodded with satisfaction, and then took out the Thor's sword and looked at the system attribute page of Zunli. Summoning Beast. Zunli. Race. Thunder King Ant. Talent. Lightning Style Affinity, Thunder Power, Lightning Coverage. Shared Talent. Intelligence. Evolvable. Evolution Requirement. Thor's Sword 1. Whether to evolve. Looking at the 4 big words at the bottom, Bison made his choice without any hesitation. Evolve. At the moment Bison made his choice, the gray and chaotic evolution light emerged from the void again. But in an instant, the evolution light flashed in the void and directly covered the Thor's sword in his hand. In the next moment, crack, crack, crack. 11. Under the golden lightning, the Thor's sword turned into a ball of extremely violent and huge golden thunder in an instant. The golden lightning was extremely bright and dazzling, almost covering all the electric currents, making this ball of golden thunder, like 10 huge balls of light. As for how huge it is, the diameter is about 5 meters, and such a volume can easily cover the thunder. Sure enough. In the next moment, this ball of golden lightning wrapped the thunder in an instant, and then began extremely violent and intensive electric shocks with great momentum. Crack, crack, crack. Quote. Such a blast is just like a small power plant is running at full capacity, even overloaded. Electric currents were overflowing, lightning was bright, thunder was deafening, and the sound was huge. Zunli, who was being bombarded by countless golden lightning, showed an expression of pain and joy. His body was twitching slightly, but his eyes were slightly narrowed. Along with the bombardment of lightning, Zunli's body was also constantly expanding. On the purple beetle wings, golden lines were added. The alternation of purple and gold made it look extremely cool, domineering, majestic, and impressive. Originally, the body was 3 meters long, and the upper body stood upright. Well done, and Zunli, who is almost as tall as Bison. This time, his body has grown to a huge size of 10 meters, and his upper body is 3 meters tall when standing upright. This height is just like the height of a tall and strong general riding a tall horse. He is really high above, and Hokage is unparalleled. As Zunli's body shape changes, the golden current naturally converges into Zunli's body quickly. When the golden thunder completely disappears, Zunli's body shape is completely stable, and Zunli's second evolution is completely completed. As the evolution is completed, a series of system prompts sound directly in Bison's mind. Ding! Evolution is completed. Opening the Summoning Beast attribute page. Opening. Summoning Beast. Thunder. Race. Overlord Thunder Ant. Talent. Overlord Heavy Thunder, Overlord Thunder Force, Thunder Armor. Shared Talent. Intelligence. Evolvable. Evolution Requirement. Sky Thunder 10,000. Just after the attribute page popped up, the system prompt sounded. Ding. Strength. Talent has been shared. As the last system prompt sounded, Bison felt a surging, violent and domineering lightning. Suddenly, it exploded in his body, and countless tiny currents flowed to his whole body, limbs and bones. Under the spread of this violent current, a slightly painful numbness emerged from Bison's whole body, and in this pain, Bison also felt a sense of relief. His own strength is getting stronger. Huh. After exhaling heavily, Bison slowly opened his eyes. Looking at the attribute page of Zunli, Bison also fell into deep thought. Overlord Thunder Ant. What a Overlord Thunder Ant. Overlord Thunder Force is a talent that is really extremely powerful. After Bison casually grasped a spring ball that could be used to roughly calculate the force, a few exclamations flashed in his eyes. Before the Thunderbolt evolved, it had about 40 tons of power. After evolving into the Thunder King Ant Queen, it had 97 tons of power. Now that it has evolved into the Overlord Thunder Ant Queen, it has about 160 to 170 tons of power. As the saying goes, thunder has a force of 10,000 kilograms. 1 kilogram is 300,000 kilograms, 150,000 kilograms, or 150,000 tons. Now this force has exceeded the 10,000 kilograms of thunder. Although it is still far from pulling a mountain with force, it is already a very terrifying force for humans, no, for ninjas. Maybe Tsunade's strange power is not so great. If I meet Tsunade in the future, maybe I can learn to control my strange power. Then, it's not impossible to smash a mountain with one punch. Mumbling like this, Bai Zan couldn't help but have some yearning and expectation in his eyes. Although smashing a mountain with one punch cannot be compared with Otsutsuki Tonari's Tensagan's Golden Wheel reincarnation explosion to directly cut the moon, it is also a very powerful force. In addition to the talent of Overlord Thunder Force, the thunder that evolved into Overlord Thunder Ant has two more talents. Overlord Heavy Thunder, and Thunder Armament. With his eyes fixed on the talent of Overlord Heavy Thunder, Bai Zan also stretched out his right hand, and his chakra moved, activating the talent. Crackle, crackle, crackle. Accompanied by the sound of thunder, an irregular group of dark purple thunder appeared in Bai Zan's hand. The dense electric currents were like dark purple thunder snakes, winding, gathering, and wandering in Bai Zan's hands. It looked extremely spectacular, huge and terrifying, heavy and majestic. Feeling the nature of this ball of thunder, Bai Zan nodded gently, and murmured with a bit of understanding in his eyes, "So that's it." This deep purple Overlord Heavy Thunder can bring a special magnetic field. This magnetic field is a kind of gravitational magnetic field, which can make this Overlord Heavy Thunder carry weight. No wonder this Overlord Heavy Thunder has a heavy word, CB. Yeah. The principle of electromagnetism. I have to say that this nature is really strong, and it is also very suitable for thunder. Although lightning is very lethal, it also relies on penetration, high temperature, explosion, and electric shock to produce lethality. Lightning itself can almost be said to have no mass, but this Overlord Heavy Thunder can have weight, which naturally means that the lethality of lightning will be greatly improved. And more importantly, Thunder's weapon Fang Tian Hua Ji just needs to increase its weight. Covering this Overlord Heavy Thunder can also increase the weight of Fang Tian Hua Ji. Quote. Otherwise, the weapon is too light for Zunli, which will also affect the combat effectiveness. Thinking like this, Bai Zan also felt that this Overlord Heavy Thunder was really suitable for Zunli. Just like the Blazing Fox fire obtained by Hong Yi after the second evolution into Six Tails Blazing Fox. This Overlord Heavy Thunder is also a kind of blood limit thunder. It's just that the nature of Blazing Fox fire is high temperature, while the nature of Overlord Heavy Thunder is heavy. After Bai Zan tested these two talents, he set his sights on the last talent after Zunli evolved. Thunder Armor. The Thunder Armor talent should be an upgraded version of lightning coverage. I just don't know what this arm is. Armor represents weapons and equipment, so the Thunder Armor talent is to use thunder to condense into weapons and equipment. Try it and you will know. Mumbling in a low voice, Bai Zan directly mobilized chakra after thinking for a moment, and also opened the Thunder Armor talent. In the next moment, crack, 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 a burst of thunder and lightning, the dark purple tyrant Heavy Thunder almost covered Bai Zan's body in an instant, and condensed into substance. This is a full-body heavy armor, a full-body heavy armor constructed by Thunder and Tyrant Heavy Thunder. This appearance is very similar to Zunli's insect armor, but it has been slightly modified to fit Bai Zan's body structure. But it is still so Hokage, full of a violent aesthetic belonging to the Zerg, wild and rough, ferocious and domineering. And, in the next moment, Bai Zan's mind moved. The dark purple Tyrant Heavy Thunder directly behind Bai Zan, behind this set of Thunder Heavy armor, constructed a pair of insect wings, a pair of Thunder insect wings. So that's it. After a flash of enlightenment in Bai Zan's eyes, he stretched out his right hand and made a grip gesture. In the next moment, crackle, crackle, crackle. There was another burst of lightning and thunder, accompanied by the gathering of the Overlord Heavy Thunder. A Fang Tian Hua Ji constructed by the Overlord Heavy Thunder was directly condensed in Bai Zan's quiver. Who? After waving it twice, Bai Zan's eyes couldn't help but flash a few lights. The talent of Thunder Armament is really useful. Use thunder to condense a body and then use it to fight. I can feel that the Fang Tian Hua Ji in my hand can be thrown. And when it lands, I can't stimulate the original explosive nature of lightning. This is simply a Fang Tian Hua Ji shaped thunder missile. But the Fang Tian Hua Ji is not very suitable for throwing, I have to think of other ways. Using a flying spear feels more powerful and faster than using a Fang Tian Hua Ji for throwing. Thunder Spear. No. I can also use a bow. Use a longbow. Humans are intelligent creatures who are good at using tools. The comprehensive performance of bows and arrows is ultimately higher than that of flying spears. Since Xuan Lei already has a Fang Tian Hua Ji, he doesn't mind adding a longbow. Use the Overlord Heavy Thunder and the Thunder Armed Talent to condense arrows, and then use the special longbow to shoot them out. The thunder arrows will explode when they hit the ground, and their power is absolutely terrifying. In this way, quote, Xuan Lei, who already looks like a general on horseback, is even more like a general on horseback. Quote, holding a Fang Tian Hua Ji in his hand, and a Wan Jun longbow on his waist. And Xuan Lei also has a pair of insect wings, which can fly. Such Xuan Lei, his combat power is definitely extraordinary. While murmuring, Bai Zan's eyes really became brighter and brighter. Bai Zan thought the future he designed for Xuan Lei was really good. Hockey and powerful. After a slight pause, Bai Zan cast his eyes on Xuan Lei. At this time, Xuan Lei's body was already very large. Even if his upper body stood upright, it was still 3 meters tall. Such Xuan Lei, even with his head down, was much taller than Bai Zan. But Bai Zan didn't care about these. At this time, looking at Xuan Lei's respectful, obedient, and loyal eyes, Bai Zan calmly said, the same thing. Practice hard, work hard to become stronger, you practice first. Quote. Hearing Bai Zan's words, Xuan Lei called out respectfully. Squeak. Yes, my master. After a while, when Xuan Lei left the basement to practice, Bai Zan began to think about the evolutionary materials needed for Xuan Lei's third evolution. Evolutionary requirements. Sky Thunder 10,000. The evolutionary materials needed for Xuan Lei's third evolution are actually 10,000 Sky Thunders. How can I collect this? There is indeed a sealing technique in the sealing technique, and there are also corresponding sealing scrolls. But Sky Thunder is not an ordinary lightning style. With such violent thunder, the best sealing scroll can probably only seal one Sky Thunder. Xuan Lei's evolution requires 10,000 Sky Thunders. Do you want me to use a sealing scroll to seal 10,000 Sky Thunders? Although I can afford 10,000 sets of sealing scrolls, I can also use sealing scrolls to quickly chakra. Collecting 10,000 Sky Thunders with a sealing scroll is not an easy task. Quote. Issue a task, or let Danzo's root do it. Muttering like this, Bai Zan, who was thinking, seemed to have thought of something, and raised his eyebrows slightly, and then continued, no. Maybe it is not necessary to use the Thunder Sealing Scroll. Thunder is a summoning beast with Thunder attribute. Who said it can't store Thunder itself? In this system, maybe there is a hidden progress bar function. Thunder can absorb Thunder. When it absorbs one Thunder, the progress bar will increase by 0.01%. When it absorbs 10,000 Thunders, it can start evolving. It doesn't cost money to try anyway. Thunder with such strength will not die if struck by Thunder. He may not even be injured. Even if he is injured by Thunder, it should be only a minor injury. Since the problem is not big, let's try it in the next thunderstorm. If it doesn't work, try to use the Thunder Sealing Scroll to seal the Thunder. As for now, let's continue learning. Quote. After muttering in a low voice, Bai Zan opened a scroll. 0. The scroll still records the information of Senju Tobarama's exploration of attribute fusion. I have to say, the previous Bai Zan was a little wrong. Water style plus wind style is ice style, water style plus fire style is boil style, fire style and earth style or lava style, lightning style plus water style is storm style. Wind style plus fire style plus earth style is dust style. Wind style plus fire style is a low-level scorch style, Yakura. Wind style plus fire style plus lightning style is a high-level scorch style, Naruto plus Sasuke. Earth style plus water style is a low-level wood style, Yamato. Earth style plus water style plus yang style is a high-level wood style, Senju Hashirama. Except for Senju Hashirama, the entire ninja world's bloodline limit, or bloodline elimination, does not use yang style as the material attribute for fusing bloodlines. What does this mean? It means that Senju Hashirama is special. It means that Senju Hashirama has sage body, with Ashura's chakra, meaning Senju Hashirama is completely different from ordinary ninjas. So, Bai Zan wants to add Yin Dun to Scorch style, which is a fusion of wind style and fire style. It is an extremely difficult thing, or it is impossible for Bai Zan to do it now. Because Bai Zan now does not have this foundation. It is precisely because of this. Bai Zan changed his plan. Bai Zan now plans to add lightning style attributes to Scorch style, upgrading low-level Scorch style to high-level Scorch style. Sure enough, the plan with a successful example will be simpler. Although the fusion of Wind style, Fire style, and Lightning style, a bloodline-eliminating version of Scorch style, which Naruto and Sasuke used together, is not easy. Quote. But for me, these difficulties can be overcome after all. Fire style, Wind style, and Lightning style 3-in-1 is much simpler than Fire style, Wind style, and Yin done 3-in-1. And I have 3 talents: Storm Power, Blazing Fox Fire, and Overlord Heavy Thunder. These 3 talents are obtained by the second evolution of Summoning Beast, and there is almost no difference in quality. In this way, a stable triangle combination is formed. Mumbling in a low voice, Bai Zan, while looking at the contents on the scroll, 477, was thinking in his mind how to fuse the 3 attributes of Fire style, Wind style, and Lightning style into a bloodline-eliminating version of Scorch style. So, time passed slowly. The next day, Bai Zan went to find Tiangong and asked Tiangong to make a longbow and a heavy bow with precious materials. The stronger the longbow, the better. Bai Zan still believed in Tiangong. So since this matter has been handed over to Tiangong, Bai Zan can do his own thing. As for what Bai Zan's own thing is, naturally, it is to find a way to collect heavenly thunder. 3 days later, Bai Zan has prepared the thunder sealing scroll. Bai Zan has also prepared the device to attract heavenly thunder. In fact, it is not difficult to attract heavenly thunder. The principle of the lightning rod is to attract lightning and guide it into the earth. As long as Bai Zan makes a slight modification, he can make a lightning rod that can guide heavenly thunder into Zunli's body. Anyway, no matter what, in half an hour, the thunderstorm will come. At that time, it doesn't matter whether you use the thunder sealing scroll to collect heavenly thunder or let Zunli store heavenly thunder. After all, this is the Hokage world. In such a magical world, there will always be a way to collect heavenly thunder. At this time, Bai Zan has come to a hillside. After taking out the lightning rod from the storage scroll and assembling it, Bai Zan looked up at the sky. The sky was dark and the sky was gloomy. There was a feeling of dark clouds pressing down on the city. It's almost time, Zunli, go get the lightning rod ready first. Bai Zan ordered Zunli directly to the side. Zunli was also obedient. After slightly lowering his head to Bai Zan, he quickly walked under the lightning rod. Watching Zunli's movements, Bai Zan also took out a lightning scroll. So, Bai Zan looked at the sky and waited quietly for the thunderstorm to come. Time passed. About 20 minutes passed. In front of Bai Zan's eyes, a bright blue lightning suddenly flashed. This lightning was so huge that it seemed to split the entire sky in 2. And with the flash of lightning, it was thunder rolling in the sky, resounding through the world. Boom, boom, boom. Thunder is such a powerful existence, a symbol of the power of heaven. I really don't know how strong thunder can be after using 10,000 thunders to complete the 3rd evolution of Thunder 2. But compared with Shadow's power and talent, I can imagine a little bit. Bai Zan narrowed his eyes slightly. Because a thunder has been attracted by the lightning rod. Crack. In an instant, a thick blue lightning directly flooded the lightning rod and struck the thunder under the lightning rod fiercely. Crack, crack, crack. The electric current exploded and spread, like a blue lightning snake wrapped around Thunder's body, releasing dazzling lightning and emitting dense and huge thunder. And the thunder, bathed in the thunder, just twitched slightly, the amplitude was not large. And Bai Zan, who had excellent eyesight, also saw the enjoyment on Xuanlei's face. Sure enough, Xuanlei of the thunder attribute has a very high resistance to thunder and lightning. And the body should also have the ability to absorb thunder and lightning. Quote. Although it is not a talent, there are some things that talents cannot say. For example, after the evolution of Gale, the fangs and claws become sharper. For example, after the evolution of Red Clothes, the flame resistance is very high, and it can even bathe in flames. Watching it like this, Bai Zan also nodded gently, and then spoke with a little understanding. It should be like this, my assumption is not wrong. Any living organism has bioelectricity, and even nerves are transmitted by electrical signals. Xuanlei of the thunder attribute should be able to store a large amount of thunder and lightning. Just as Baizan was muttering, the thunder had disappeared. And the raindrops finally fell down. Bang! The black umbrella opened quickly. Tick tick, tick tick, tick tick. The rain was getting heavier. After a slight pause, Baizan opened the Thunder System Properties page. Summoning Beast. Thunder. Race. Overlord Thunder Ant. Talent. Overlord Heavy Thunder, Overlord Thunder Force, Thunder Armorer. Shared Talent. Intelligence. Evolvable. Evolution Requirement. Sky Thunder, 1/10,000th. Looking at the column of evolution requirements at the bottom of the Thunder's Properties page, Baizan couldn't help but show some joy in his eyes. It really works. In this way, maybe Zunli can start evolving directly after being struck by the Sky Thunder 10,000 times. This is much more convenient, and there is no need to use the Thunder Sealing Scroll to collect the Sky Thunder. After saying this softly, Baizan looked up at the sky. Dark clouds, raindrops, lightning. Boom. Boom. Crack. Another thick blue sky thunder fell, and under the traction of the lightning rod, it fell heavily on Zunli's body. 4 hours later. After the rain, the sky cleared up, and a bright rainbow hung on the horizon, looking unusually fresh. The ground was full of rain, making the plants look even greener. Evolution Requirement. Thunder, 107/10,000ths. In this thunderstorm, Zunli collected a total of 107 thunders. If this thunderstorm is taken as an average, about 100 thunderstorms will be needed. The climate in the Fire Country is very good. There will be no lack of rain, but there will also be no excessive rain. But if you calculate the time, spring is coming soon, and the rain will increase. But no matter what, it will take about 2 years to collect 10,000 thunders. By that time, I will almost graduate. It's just in time. Quote. After a quick analysis, Baizan also turned his attention to Zunli. After being struck by the sky thunder for 107 times, Zunli now showed a strong feeling. In a pair of insect eyes, there seemed to be 2 dazzling dark purple lightnings, as if Zunli could hurt people through the dark purple lightning in his eyes. Speaking of which, summoning beasts are also living beings, and they can also become stronger through practice. And for some summoning beasts with thunder attributes, being struck by the sky thunder is also a kind of practice. I can feel that Zunli is slowly getting stronger because of being struck by the sky thunder. Maybe when Zunli is struck by the sky thunder for 10,000 times, Zunli will reach the limit of the Overlord Thunder Ant race. Then use the power of the system to break the limit of the layer, so that Zunli can complete the evolution. Just as Baizan was thinking this, Zunli had already lowered his head to Baizan, showing a posture of waiting for orders. Baizan didn't want to waste time, so he said directly, Zunli, take down the lightning rod behind you, we should go. Hearing Baizan's words, Zunli shouted, squeak. Squeak. After the sound fell, Zunli quickly took the lightning rod apart into 12 sections. Then, Baizan left with Zunli. Hokage Building. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the picture in the crystal ball, and his eyes couldn't help but reveal a little shock. After a moment of silence, Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed, Baizan, this kid, is really a genius. The newly recovered summoning beast can actually become stronger by absorbing the thunder. I remember that this summoning beast was only an ant about 1 meter long not long ago. Such a speed of strengthening is really terrifying. Quote. Besides, Baizan has 3 other summoning beasts. So much time has passed. Perhaps the strength of those 3 summoning beasts is no weaker than that of Jonin. Add to that the newly captured summoning beast and Baizan's own experience. Quote. Baizan, who has not yet graduated, has the total combat power equivalent to 5 Jonin. This is really a terrifying talent. The future of Konoha may depend on Baizan. I am old after all. Baizan, please reach Kage quickly. I, an old man, should also contribute the last ray of light to Konoha. Quote. XZ. As long as there are leaves flying, the fire will continue to grow. The flames will continue to illuminate the village and make new leaves sprout. Quote. Sarutobi Hiruzen's voice was very low and his expression was very blurred, as if he was lost in some memories. After Danzo was controlled by Baizan. In Konoha, only Sarutobi Hiruzen would observe Baizan. Of course, Baizan naturally knew about Sarutobi Hiruzen's observation. But Baizan didn't care. Because Bai Zan was not going to save Sarutobi Hiruzen, and Sarutobi Hiruzen would not live long. Let Sarutobi Hiruzen fulfill his wish and contribute the last flame to Konoha. No matter who Konoha's next powerful enemy is. Sarutobi Hiruzen has prepared the powerful forbidden technique of Shikiseal for him. Forbidden technique of summoning Shinigami. There are so many mysteries in this world. Back in the room, Bai Zan indirectly opened the scroll. However, this time, Bai Zan did not continue to deduce the attribute fusion of the bloodline elimination version of Scorch style, but deduced the fire style ninjutsu that Hong Yi should master. After all, the three summoning beasts, Gale, Shadow, and Thunder, are already very comprehensive, and their future positioning is also very clear. Only Hong Yi still has a serious shortcoming. Because Hong Yi has the two talents of blazing fire steps and fire body transformation. These two talents make Hong Yi an excellent mount. Therefore, Hong Yi's combat power was inevitably affected. Bai Zan could not let Hong Yi become a simple mount. So Bai Zan needed to supplement Hong Yi's combat power in terms of moves. After all, the fire style ninjutsu of 727 in this world has a bit of a single move, and most of them are strong attacks. It is powerful. But it is not comprehensive enough, not enough to use, and it can't be called a top move. Quote. Even the three most advanced fire style ninjutsu of the Uchiha clan, fire style Great Fire Extinguishing, fire style Great Fire Extinguishing, and fire style Dragon Flame Song technique, are not particularly powerful, and cannot make the existence that controls these three fire style ninjutsu a truly powerful person. Quote. Although Uchiha Madara has mastered many advanced fire-style ninjutsu, Uchiha Madara did not become the Shura of the ninja world by relying on these fire-style ninjutsu, but by relying on the pair of eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Quote. If Hong Yi relies on fire-style to fight, he must have a comprehensive and powerful fire-style ninjutsu, a set of fire-style ninjutsu similar to the comprehensive and powerful water-style ninjutsu developed by Senju Tobarama. Quote. Movement, attack, defense, support, control, all these are needed. While talking to himself, he looked at the Uchiha clan's research on fire style. Even though the Uchiha clan is most famous for the pair of Sharingan, the Uchiha clan's fire style cannot be ignored. Although it is not comprehensive, there are indeed many powerful fire style ninjutsu. These are indeed very valuable as a reference. Senju Tobarama's talent and R&D capabilities are really strong. Water style water barrier, water style water rush wave, water style water severing wave, water style wave riding, water style hard vortex water blade, water style water dragon bite. These water style ninjutsu make Senju Tobarama an extremely powerful ninja using only water style ninjutsu. Hong Yi's future positioning is to become a fire style version of Senju Tobarama without forbidden technique. And not only will he use an enhanced version of fire style, but he can also use instant ninjutsu without seals. Use high-quality flames, or fire style, to attack, defend, control, assist, move, and so on. Single quote. Thinking like this, Bai Zan directly cast his eyes on Hong Yi's talent. Blazing Fox Fire, Blazing Fire Step, Fire Body Transformation. Well, the talent of Blazing Foxfire is undoubtedly the most critical core talent of Hong Yi. The talent of Blazing Fire Step may be slightly improved, and it may be able to derive a fire-style ninjutsu that accelerates movement. As for the talent of Fire Body Transformation, it can also be used to assist in combat if used flexibly, but it still mainly relies on fire style. Take your time, there is still time. After muttering in a low voice, Bai Zan completely entered the state of concentrating on learning. So, time is silent. Unknowingly, it was the 59th year of Konoha. Tenten and Xiao Li passed the graduation examination of the ninja school, just like the original Destiny track. Tenten, Xiao Li, and Hyuga Neji were assigned to Might Guy. So, Might Guy should also do some serious work, such as taking Tenten, Xiao Li, and Neji to do some ninja tasks. I have to say, because of Bai Zan, Tiantian is much stronger than before, not to mention Xiao Li, who has been training with Might Guy for many years and can open 2 of the 8 inner gates. As for Neji, the Hyuga clan is not a genius, even though he has just graduated. Neji has mastered many powerful gentle fist moves. After roughly understanding Neji's strength, Might Guy, who already knew the strength of Tiantian and Xiao Li, decided without hesitation to take them to do some fighting, or even killing missions. After all, Tiantian, Xiao Li, and Neji are not lacking in basics. It is precisely because of this. The people who originally trained with Bai Zhan and others suddenly lost 3. Of course. The lack of people is not the key. The key is the graduation assessment, the key is the division of teams, the key is the team leader, and the key is the ninja mission. These are all very concerned by Naruto, Sasuke, and Tien. Tiantian, Xiao Li actually graduated like this, became a ninja, and also went on an outing mission with Teacher Guy. It seems that passing the graduation test of the ninja school and becoming a ninja is not a difficult thing. Naruto seemed to have some nostalgia and some expectations in his eyes. As Naruto's words rang out, Sasuke also said with a somewhat indifferent tone, "It's just becoming a genin, of course it's not a difficult thing. Our strength is beyond that of ordinary chunin, it's not easy to pass the graduation examination. Teacher Kakashi has become a jonin when he was 12 years old." Listening to Sasuke's words, Naruto did not refute, but just nodded lightly, and then continued, although that's what he said. But the graduation examination not only tests 3 body technique, kunai throwing, and actual combat exercises, but also a written test. I have no problem with the previous ones, but the written test is really annoying. Naruto said a little crazy. After a slight pause, Naruto continued with a slightly complaining tone. When you really fight, why do you need a written test? Isn't it enough to beat the enemy? It's so annoying. Hehe, you are stupid. Sasuke mocked without hesitation. It has to be said that the relationship between Naruto and Sasuke is naturally incompatible. After getting to know each other a little better, the two began to compete with each other crazily. Competition will naturally lead to conflicts, and after conflicts, not only will they curse each other, but they will also fight. Of course. They both know their limits. The more they curse and fight, the better their relationship becomes. Just after Sasuke's mocking voice fell, Naruto also widened his eyes. Sasuke, you actually called me stupid again. Come on, let's spar and see what use the things that will be tested in the written test have for our sparring. As Naruto's words sounded, Sasuke couldn't help but fall into silence. It has to be said that Sasuke has a good talent. After practicing hard for so many years, he has slowly caught up with Naruto. From the original fewer wins and more losses, to the current equal wins and losses. But, Sasuke doesn't have a sage body. He just finished a tragic sparring with Naruto yesterday. Today, Naruto has fully recovered because of his sage body, but Sasuke has not. If he goes to fight Naruto like this, he will definitely lose. Sasuke is not stupid, so he will naturally not look for abuse. But he is too embarrassed to refuse. After all, yesterday's fight was a draw, and the injuries of both people were similar. The fact that Uzumaki Naruto can recover so quickly is also Uzumaki Naruto's own ability. He doesn't have this ability, and he is embarrassed to admit defeat. Just when Sasuke fell silent, Bai Zhan knew that he should speak. Okay, Naruto, are you embarrassed to take advantage of others? Since Bai Zhan spoke, Naruto naturally reacted. After a slight pause, Naruto was thinking about what to say, but at this time Bai Zhan continued to speak. But no matter how many times I see it, I feel that Naruto's self-healing is really strong. Hehe. Listening to Bai Zhan's praise, Naruto couldn't help but smile happily, as if he had forgotten what he wanted to say just now. Okay. Let's not talk about this, let's talk about something else. Bai Zhan successfully changed the subject. The graduation exam is based on the total score anyway, so it doesn't matter if you get 0 on the written exam, Naruto. Xiao Li doesn't know ninjutsu, and he got 0 on the 3 body technique exam, but he still graduated successfully, didn't he? You're better than Xiao Li, so you'll definitely pass the graduation exam. So the graduation exam isn't the key is the team division and the team leader. Bai Zhan continued to speak. Listening to Bai Zhan, Hinata, who had been standing silently beside Bai Zhan, finally reacted when he heard the word, division. After secretly glancing at Bai Zhan's almost perfect face, which looked like a banished immortal in a painting, Hinata prayed in her heart, I really want to be assigned to the same class with Bai Zhan. In this way, we won't be separated because of graduation, and I can be with Baizan every day and perform ninja missions together. Oh, that's great, God, please bless me to be in the same class with Baizan. Hinata's pair of pure and beautiful eyes showed a little piety. However, except for Baizan, no one else noticed these subtle changes. On the contrary, Naruto nodded slightly after hearing Baizan's words, and then said proudly, "That's right, 130 points in the graduation exam is a piece of cake for me, Uzumaki Naruto. Even if I get 0 points in the written test, I can easily pass the graduation exam. The key is the team division and the team leader. 3 people in a class, it would be great if I could be in the same class with you, Baizan." Listening to Naruto's words, Sasuke on the side paused slightly and said directly, "I also want to be in the same class with Baizan. But the division of classes is decided by the people above, and I don't know what the people above think." Listening to Sasuke's words, Naruto couldn't help but sigh, and then said with some disappointment, "I asked the third-generation grandfather last time if he could put me and Baizan in the same class after graduation. The third-generation grandfather did tell me so." Quote. Naruto, class division is a big deal. It is to ensure that the ninja can complete the task better when performing the mission. The members of the team need to complement each other's abilities and specialties, so that the 3 people together can exert a stronger force. CBEF, this is not a trivial matter. I need to consider all the graduates. So I can't promise you on this matter. Naruto imitated Sarutobi Hiruzen's posture and spoke. Listening to Naruto's narration, Sasuke also frowned slightly, and after a moment of silence, he continued, "Indeed, this class division is correct. Everything must be guaranteed for the ninja to complete the task more perfectly. To complete the task, it is necessary to improve the combat effectiveness, and the abilities and specialties of the team members must complement each other and cooperate. In this way, it is difficult to speculate." Quote. Sasuke seemed to be lost in thought, thinking about what kind of teammates could make up for his shortcomings and improve his combat effectiveness. Baizan, who was standing by, also had a strange look in his eyes when he heard these words. For relatively weak ninjas, they do need the cooperation and supplement of their teammates, only in this way can they complete the task better. But I don't need it. After all, I have Summoning Beast. After all, I can share strength and talent with Summoning Beast. In a sense, I have no shortcomings. One person is a perfect ninja team, and one person is enough to complete most ninja tasks. But these things don't matter to Baizan. All Baizan wants is to grow up silently and become stronger silently. More importantly, Baizan feels that he is a strong man. However, things like class division will eventually affect his future life. So Baizan feels that he can still spend some brain cells to think about it. In the original Destiny track, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were assigned to Kakashi's 7th class. Inuzuka Kiba, Hyuga Hinata, Aburame Shino was assigned to Xiaoyuhong's small class. Nara Shikamaru, Yamanaka Ino, Akamichi Choji were assigned to Sarutobi Asama's 10th class. The 10th class might not change, after all, Ino Shika Cho is Konoha's tradition. The 7th class should not change either. After all, Baizan doesn't believe that Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't know Haruno Sakura's talent. With that talent for subtle control of chakra, Haruno Sakura was born to be a medical ninja. And there is also the issue of bloodline. In those days, many members of the Senju clan married ordinary villagers. Maybe Haruno Sakura has some Senju blood. Otherwise, Tsunade would not have accepted him as a disciple, taught him medical ninjutsu, and taught Haruno Sakura extremely precious supernatural powers, 100 healings mark, etc. Senju, the secret arts of the Uzumaki clan. If you think about it, many things have been arranged long ago. Since these 2 classes should not change, the one that should change is Class 8. After all, Baizan felt that he had performed so well, and Sarutobi Hiruzen seemed to have a good impression of him, so it was impossible for him to be assigned to a messy class. After all, there are not many powerful Jonin in Konoha village. Although Yuhi Kurenai is not particularly powerful, she is also one of the very few Jonin who is good at illusion. What's more, Yuhi Kurenai's father, Yuhi Shinku, is officially said as the instructor who guides Chunin and Genin in Konoha village Baidu Encyclopedia. This identity is not low, and his strength should not be weak, and he should even have some relatively powerful illusion sciences. Yuhi Kurenai may not have mastered these illusion secrets, but she must have them in her hands. The talent of Shadow Knight King's Phantom Eyes has not been exposed, and Sarutobi Hiruzen can also see that he wants to develop in an all-round way. The physical skills were taught by Might Guy, and the ninjutsu was taught by Uchiha Shisui and Hitaki Kakashi, although Uchiha Shisui also taught Bai-Zan some illusions. But Bai-Zan does not have Sharingan, so Bai-Zan needs some illusions that are strong enough without Sharingan. With this analysis, it is very likely that Bai-Zan, Hinata, and Aburame Shino will be assigned to Yuhi Kurenai. If that's the case, it seems pretty good. Bai-Zan murmured in his heart. Bai-Zan likes knowledge, likes precious knowledge. Although Yuhi Shinku's illusion is not as powerful as Mangekyo Sharingan's eye technique, it is also stronger than ordinary illusions. Otherwise, Yuhi Shinku and Yuhi Kurenai would not be able to become Jonin by relying on illusions. Yuhi Shinku should even be considered an elite Jonin. Although not a shadow, it is powerful enough for ordinary ninjas. After all, there is no blood limit, only a phantom bed. For Bai-Zan, it is also a good reference material. After thinking about Yuhi Kurenai, Bai-Zan began to think about his teammates. Because of Bai-Zan, Hinata's strength grew very fast. Gentle Fist has the combat power of ordinary Chunin, and he has mastered a lot of medical ninjutsu. It has to be said that the Hyuga clan is worthy of being a large clan in Konoha. Even if few clan members will learn medical ninjutsu, they also store many medical ninjutsu in their clan. Hinata now feels like an excellent medical ninja. In fact, compared to Gentle Fist, Hinata seems to prefer medical ninjutsu, and because of the Byakugan in her own talent, Hinata quickly mastered medical ninjutsu. It is precisely because of this. Bai-Zan wants Hinata to help him study the human body, so as to collect some precious data and finally create the powerful, physical skills that Bai-Zan has always wanted to create. But there is no rush for this, there will be plenty of opportunities in the future. In addition to Hinata, Aburame Shino has also changed a lot. In fact, Aburame Shino has cultivated many upgraded insects. It's just that Bai-Zan is satisfied with only one Thunderbolt. Although Bai-Zan doesn't like the other upgraded insects, some of them are stronger than many chakra insects of the Aburame clan. In this case, Aburame Shino naturally recovered some, and used the Aburame clan's secret technique of raising insects to raise them in his body. Feeding chakra makes these upgraded insects more powerful, making the insect secret technique used by Aburame Shino more powerful, greatly improving Aburame Shino's combat power. The true strength of Hinata and Aburame Shino naturally cannot be hidden from Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes. In this case, the mediocre and even weak Inuzuka Kiba is not suitable to be in the same class with Hinata and Aburame Shino. If the combat power is too different, it will become a tiring task. If Inuzuka Kiba is not suitable, then Bai-Zan's position is naturally a very normal thing. Just when Bai-Zan was thinking about this, Sasuke, who was thinking, seemed to have thought of something, and said directly to Kakashi on the side, "Teacher Kakashi, do you know which Jonin will become the team leader this year?" Hearing Sasuke's words, Naruto's eyes also lit up, and at the same time, he couldn't help but feel a little regretful in his heart. Why did I only think about the class division last time? Obviously, the team leader is also a very important thing, but I actually forgot to ask the third-generation grandfather. You know. Following different team leaders, you can definitely learn different beds. Naruto has always wanted to master some cool moves. As for Sasuke, he is naturally very concerned about the level of the team leader. He still wants to take revenge. The stronger the team leader, the more powerful things he can learn. Hinata on the side doesn't care much about these things. She doesn't need to learn anything because she doesn't need it. Hinata only cares whether she can be assigned to the same class with Bai-Zan. Everything else is trivial. Kakashi, who is standing by, listened to Sasuke's words, paused for a moment, put down the book in his hand, and then said with a somewhat lazy and careless tone, "Team leader. Sarutobi Asuma, Yuhi Kurenai, me, Yamashiro Aoba, Bizuka came." Kakashi casually called out a series of names. Sasuke, who was standing by, had a flash of thought in his eyes. The last name Sarutobi Asuma seems to be the son of the Hokage. So he should be quite powerful. Even if he is not strong, he should be able to teach the most. After all, the Hokage has the title of ninjutsu doctor. Just when Sasuke was looking at Sarutobi Asuma, Naruto's eyes lit up and said, "Senior Kakashi, are you also the instructor of the 10th class?" After hearing what Naruto said, Sasuke quickly stopped thinking and then turned his eyes to Kakashi. In fact, Sasuke has just mastered Chidori. He still has a lot to learn from Kakashi. Originally, Sasuke thought that he had other team leaders and could continue to come to Kakashi when he was free. But if Kakashi will lead other students, so he will have fewer opportunities. After all, it is difficult to find a time when both parties are free. Because of the mission. And leading a team is a mission. Yes, I am also the instructor Jonin of this class. If nothing unexpected happens, I should still be Sasuke's teacher. Kakashi said casually. It was also because of the topic that made Sasuke feel relieved. Because in these years of teaching, Sasuke also found that Kakashi is really suitable to be his teacher. As for why Kakashi knew that he should be his team leader, Sasuke couldn't help but think of Might Guy. Might Guy's students are Tenten and Shaoli who have long worshipped him as their teacher. Maybe this is a potential rule. Although Naruto is thick-skinned, he also thought of this, and then nodded gently and said, "This should be similar to Mr. Guy." "Yeah, almost," Kakashi said casually, and then continued to read the book. "Hey, Teacher Guy is going to lead Tiantian and Shaoli. In fact, I also want to continue to stay under Teacher Guy." Naruto couldn't help but sigh. Listening to Naruto's sigh, Baisan also said with some emotion, "In fact, Might Guy has taught us everything he can. Naruto, in fact, you should also try to learn something new to match your magnificent chakra." Listening to Baisan's words, Naruto seemed a little distressed. Yes, although the tactics of multiple shadow clone technique combined with physical skills are also good, if you want to use 8 inner gates, you can't release multiple shadow clone technique. But I only have 773 in the 8 inner gates state to have a strong explosive power. Quote. Now I seem to have a very powerful explosive move. Quote. But I like to make hand seals. Ordinary ninjutsu is not suitable for me. I hope my team leader has a technique that suits me. Listening to Naruto's words, Baisan thought of Rasengan. Of course. Rasengan is not irreplaceable. Rasengan is a move created by Namikaze Minato imitating Tailed Beast Bomb. Namikaze Minato himself cannot release Tailed Beast Bomb, but Uzumaki Naruto can. It's just that Naruto can't use or control the power of 9 tails in his body now. Although Naruto is now specialized in physical skills and has the powerful forbidden technique of 8 inner gates, he is indeed missing an explosive move before he can use or control the power of 9 tails. So, Naruto, you can ask Senior Kakashi, maybe Senior Kakashi has a technique that suits you. Baisan said calmly. Kakashi is Namikaze Minato's disciple. Uzumaki Naruto is the son of Namikaze Minato. Although Baisan is a little unclear about what Kakashi is thinking now. He has a good relationship with Naruto, but he doesn't want to put in any more effort and thought. Is he too lazy? Or is the book too good? No matter what Kakashi thinks, Baisan doesn't mind mentioning it. Listening to Baisan's words, Naruto's eyes lit up, and then he cast his eyes on Kakashi who was reading. Senior Kakashi, do you have a technique suitable for me? If so, please teach me. Naruto's tone was very impolite. After all, in Naruto's opinion, the two of them are so familiar with each other, and teaching a technique should not be a big deal. Kakashi, who was reading the book, sighed helplessly after hearing Naruto's words. Naruto, your ability to control chakra is too poor. You can't learn it even if I teach you. It's not better to specialize in physical skills. Although Naruto also knew that his ability to control chakra was very poor, Naruto was unwilling to admit defeat and said, Senior Kakashi, how can you say I can't learn it without even teaching me? Everything is possible, nothing is impossible. At this time, Naruto's expression was very firm and his words were very firm. Looking at Naruto like this, Kakashi couldn't help but fall into silence. After a slight pause, he said directly, that's right. Since you want to teach, let's teach together. Naruto, I'll teach you a move of no mark ninjutsu later. Sasuke, I'll teach you that move Reikiri later. Quote. Whether you can learn it or not depends on you. As for Baizen and Hinata, you don't need my teaching, but I can teach you if you too want to learn. Naruto listened to Kakashi's reply, and a silly smile appeared on his face. He believed that he could overcome any difficulties and would definitely be able to learn this unidentified ninjutsu. As for Sasuke, listening to Kakashi's words, he couldn't help but reveal a little joy in his eyes. He had already found out that Kakashi not only had Chidori, but also had an upgraded version of Chidori, Reikiri. But he had just mastered Chidori, so he didn't mention Reikiri. But for Sasuke, he was confident that Kakashi would teach him, and he would be able to learn it sooner or later. At worst, he would work harder recently, quickly master Chidori, and then practice Reikiri. Thank you, Senior Kakashi. Naruto thanked with a silly smile. Thank you very much, Mr. Kakashi. Sasuke was a little more polite. As for Baizen, Chidori had already learned it, and Reikiri also deduced it, and it was the unprinted version. After all, Thunderbolt gave Baizen a lightning-style talent comparable to the bloodline limit. As for Rasengan, that's not to mention. Just look at Hayate's wind-style spiral heavy cannon to know what Baizen thinks of Rasengan. It is precisely because of this. Listening to Kakashi's words, Baizen just calmly replied, I really don't need it. Me too. Hinata followed behind Baizen and said. That's good, it just saves me some energy. Kakashi was also weak. Looking at Kakashi like this, by 0.9 Zan also smiled and said, Senior Kakashi, you are getting lazier and lazier. In that case, you can teach Naruto and Sasuke here. Hinata and I won't bother you. Quote. After that, Baizen turned his eyes to Hinata, and then said with a little gentleness, Hinata, let's take today as a day off and go shopping. Hinata was excited, and Hinata blushed. Well, Baizen. Hinata's voice was still so gentle and light, with a little quietness, obedience, and gentleness. So, Baizen left with Hinata. Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi looked at the backs of Baizen and Hinata, and seemed to fall into silence involuntarily. 3 months later. In the basement, Baizen was stretching out his hands, with his palms open, as if he was holding an invisible air ball. Between Baizen's hands, a ball of storm, a ball of fire, and a ball of lightning were close together, arranged in an equilateral triangle, and constantly rotating. The power of the storm, the blazing fox fire, and the overlord heavy thunder, these three attribute powers are of equal quality and quantity. Under the effect of chakra, they can be slowly integrated. But such integration requires a balance point. Only by finding this balance point can these three energies be perfectly integrated together. But this balance point is not static, but dynamic. Only by constantly adjusting these three energies during integration can these three energies be slowly, bit by bit integrated together, and then complete the sublimation of attributes. Baizen, who constantly adjusted the power of the storm, the blazing fox fire, and the overlord heavy thunder, whispered softly. In Baizen's eyes, storm, flame, and thunder, the three have already merged apart. The fusion of storm and flame, the fusion of storm and thunder, the fusion of thunder and flame. Slowly. This fusion is continuing. After so many attempts, Baizen finally understood. I don't know how many times more difficult the fusion of bloodline elimination is than the fusion of bloodline limit. The fusion of two attributes only needs to consider the balance of the two attributes, because the fusion attribute of the two is the attribute you need. And the fusion of three attributes, wind, fire, and thunder, you need to consider the balance of 6 attributes. The fusion attribute of wind and fire, the fusion attribute of wind and thunder, the fusion attribute of thunder and fire, and the original wind attribute, fire attribute, and thunder attribute. These 6 attributes are not what you need. What you need is the fusion attribute of wind, destruction, and thunder. It is already difficult to do 2 things at the same time, and it is even more difficult to do 6 things at the same time. Now Baizen is a little clear why the bloodline elimination in the whole ninja world has only one dust escape. Moreover, the fusion of dust release seems to be assisted by the barrier technique. As for Senju Hashirama's ability to fuse wood style, which is made of earth, water and yang, it is entirely because Senju Hashirama is not an ordinary person. The sage body plus Ashura's chakra makes Senju Hashirama a complete cheater. There is also Terumi Mei, who has 3 chakra attributes of water, fire and earth. This 5th Mizukage seems to be born with the talent of fusing attributes. He successfully fused water and fire to form boil style, and also successfully fused water and earth to form lava style. Note: the official setting of lava style is not clear. Here I will set it up. Using the normal method to fuse water and earth can only produce lava style, but not wood style. Yamato can use the low-level wood style fused from earth and water, entirely because Yamato is a special case created by Orochimaru using Senju Hashirama. When Terumi Mei successfully fused lava style and boil style, she seemed to be young. But after such a long time, no one could fuse water, fire and earth into bloodline elimination. This shows how difficult it is to fuse bloodline elimination. Among all normal ninjas, only 2nd Tsuchikage Wu successfully fused the 3 attributes of earth, wind and fire into dust style, and was able to pass it on to 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki. But no matter how 2nd Tsuchikage Wu did it, the appearance of dust style can only mean one thing. That is, ordinary ninjas can indeed fuse the 3 attributes into bloodline elimination, and ordinary ninjas can indeed control bloodline elimination. In terms of talent, Baisan feels that he must be the most powerful. So Baisan must be able to control the power of bloodline elimination. It is this balance point, this dynamic balance point. I have completely controlled the convergence of it, and only one step away, the bloodline elimination version of Scorch style will be born in my hands. At this time, in front of Baisan, fire style, wind style, and lightning style have completely disappeared. Only the fusion attribute of fire and wind, the fusion attribute of wind and thunder, and the fusion attribute of fire and thunder. These 3 attributes have reached a dynamic balance. Then, the first blood-inherited elimination version of Scorch style was born. This is a special energy collection that is like light, electricity, and fire. This is a terrifying energy that combines the 3 powerful properties of high temperature, combustion, and explosion. This is a red energy like the sun. As soon as this blood-inherited elimination version of Scorch style was born, it began to quickly devour the low-level blood-inherited limit chakra around it. Then, this group of Scorch style type chakra quickly expanded. Looking at the 177 groups of Scorch style flames in his hand, Baisan couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief, and then showed a satisfied smile. Finally, the fusion is complete. From today on, I can be considered to have mastered this blood-inherited elimination. Quote. Such power is no weaker than Senju Hashirama's wood style. Quote. It's just that I don't have Ashura's chakra, nor do I have the body of a sage, let alone such a magnificent chakra. But I have the power and talent of the 4 summoning beasts, Gale, Thunder, Red Clothes, and Shadow. Especially Shadow, whose Night King's phantom eyes are almost equivalent to the Mangekyo Sharingan. So now I am. It's equivalent to 2/3 of Senju Hashirama who just awakened the wood style, plus 2/3 of Uchiha Madara who just awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan. Such a metaphor seems to be quite accurate. After saying it casually, Rishuin turned his attention to the Scorch style in his hand. Speaking of which, this ball of Scorch style energy is neither fire nor light nor electricity. I don't know how to define it, but calling it Scorch style flame seems to be pretty good. Single quote. Well, then it's a happy decision. 1 month later. In the forest. Baisan was standing on the open space, quietly adjusting his state. After taking a deep breath, Baisan mobilized the chakra in his body. Scorch style mode scorching cloth. Who? But in an instant, the red and light gold Scorch style flames rose up in an instant, and Baisan's whole body was wrapped. The Scorch style flame is neither light nor fire nor electricity, but it is like light, fire and electricity. That's why Baisan thought for a long time and decided to name the Scorch style mode scorching cloth. Because of the name of burning, this energy can show its coolness and handsomeness. This posture is really like the Nine Tails chakra mode that Naruto opened later. The whole person seems to be wrapped in energy, handsome and extremely cool. However, there are only a few less lines and the color has changed a lot, but it does not affect the appearance. Although Bai-Zan knew that the Scorch style mode Scorching Cloth was not as powerful as Naruto's Nine Tails Chakra mode, it was much more powerful than Hokage's Lightning style mode Lightning style armor. This is exactly the case. Bai-Zan, who entered the Scorch style mode Scorching Cloth, was an extremely powerful Kage level. Although not the peak of Kage level, it was also a high-level Kage level. After carefully feeling his own state, Bai-Zan smiled faintly. Sure enough, it succeeded. Such a posture, such power, is really powerful. After quickly adapting to his own state, Bai-Zan stretched out his right hand and controlled his palm at the same time. Scorching Jade. The flame of the Scorch style suddenly condensed into a basketball-sized sphere, with bright fire and flashing lightning, hot and violent, powerful and dazzling. Without throwing, Bai-Zan's mind moved, and the Scorching Jade whistled out in an instant. The jade of burning flower crossed the void, drawing a beautiful arc in the void, swaying a long stream of red and gold light, and fell on a piece of open space not far away like a meteor. Boom! A roar like thunder and lightning sounded, but in an instant, the jade of burning flower exploded on the ground. The light suddenly became brighter, and the red and light gold flames spread in an instant, sweeping across the world like a surging heat wave, and thick smoke rolled up, like a miniature mushroom cloud slowly rising. Under the aftermath, dust and smoke rose everywhere, and light, fire and dust covered Bai-Zan's sight in an instant. When all the dust settled, in front of Bai-Zan, there was an extremely smooth and flat hemispherical pit, and the surface of the pit was black scorched earth. The diameter of this pit was a full 30 meters long, which was extremely terrifying. Just above the scorched earth on the surface of this hemispherical pit with a diameter of 30 meters, there is a layer of red and golden scorch-style flames that continue to burn the scorched earth. While burning, the scorch-style flames are still releasing waves of heat, causing the surrounding air to rise continuously. The speed is like lightning, and the explosion power is very strong. After the explosion, the scorch-style flames will continue to burn, and this scorch-style flame can even burn the scorched earth and the temperature is very high. Just the jade of burning jade condensed casually, its power is comparable to that of a peacock, which is really powerful and terrifying. While muttering, Bai-Zan's eyes could not help but flash a bit of satisfaction. After a slight pause, Bai-Zan gently exhaled a breath of turbid air, and then stretched out his right hand and made a grip motion. However, in an instant, the flame of scorch style quickly spread and then condensed into substance. In this way, a spear condensed by the flame of scorch style appeared directly in Bai-Zan's hand. Looking at this scorch style spear, Bai-Zan's eyes could not help but flash a bit of joy, and then he said to himself, it really works. Because the material of scorch style contains Overlord Heavy Thunder, all the talents of Thunder armor can be used in scorch style. In this case, the other talents of Gale and Red Clothes should also be used in Scorch style. Just like that, Yuzan started the talent of Candlelight Stepping. In the next moment, Bai-Zan stepped on the flame of Scorch style and flew up directly. It's like stepping on an air staircase, very flexible. 2. Very high, so it's much more convenient. After all, wings are sometimes helpful, but sometimes a burden. Since you can use Scorch style to use the blazing steps to walk in the void, that's enough. Since the blazing steps have been tested, the next thing to test is the storm body. Just like that, Bai-Zan directly dispersed the Scorch style spear in his hand and fell to the ground. After quickly adjusting his state, Bai-Zan activated the storm body. Silently, Bai-Zan really entered the storm body state, or the burning body state. The body is elementalized, and it is a special energy zone condensed by wind and fire like Scorch style. What else can restrain such energy? Senjutsu, Yin-Yang Escape, Truth-Seeking Ball, Rinnegan Jiao Qian Jiao Tenseigan, or Bloodline Net. Paper. Except for the seal, perhaps only these can restrain my current state. Bai-Zan thought so, while feeling the consumption of chakra in his body. This state consumes a lot of chakra, but it's not a big problem. After all, I can share the power and talent of the summoning beast, and my future self will not lack chakra. Thinking like this, Bai-Zan also exited the burning battle body state. Now there is only one last move to test. Bai-Zan clenched his fist and whispered. And then, Bai-Zan blasted that punch. Holy Phoenix soaring. The 100-meter Holy Phoenix soared in the sky, the flame of scorch style was like a brilliant sun, shining brightly, illuminating the world, exploding, destroying, burning, engulfing. After testing the Holy Phoenix soaring in Scorch Style Mode Scorch Cloth Mode, Bison continued to practice Scorch Style Mode Scorch Cloth. This secret technique is really powerful, and naturally it takes Bison a lot of time to master it. Bison's goal is to completely master this secret technique before graduation, and master the Scorch Style Bloodline elimination. Of course, in addition to this matter, Rishuin should not deduce a complete set of comprehensive and powerful fire-style ninjutsu for Hongyi. This matter is not difficult, especially when Bison's bloodline elimination is Scorch style. Although Scorch style is neither light, fire, nor electricity, it is like light, fire, and electricity. But the form of Scorch style is still closer to the form of flame. It is precisely because of this. As long as it is slightly modified, Scorch-style ninjutsu can become Fire-style ninjutsu. Bison needs a set of Scorch-style ninjutsu, and this set of Scorch-style ninjutsu can be modified into a set of Fire-style ninjutsu. In this case, this matter is naturally very convenient. As for Bison's last thing, that is the evolution of Zunli. Time is silent. It was a night 4 months before Bison graduated from the ninja school. It was a night of thunder and rain. There were heavy rain, dull thunder, and interlaced lightning. Zunli still stayed under the lightning rod, accepting the strike of the sky thunder. Crack! The thick blue sky thunder fell from the sky, like a monstrous python. Crack! 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 The majestic and violent electric current exploded directly on Zunli's body, and then spread rapidly, wrapping Zunli's whole body. At the same time, these electric currents, like countless thunder pythons, also rushed into Zunli's body crazily, and then were absorbed by Zunli's body. Zunli's body twitched, and Zunli's face laughed wildly. Boom! Boom! The thunder rolled through the sky, resounding through the clouds, and the sun was shining brightly. Tick! 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 The rain stopped. Looking at the sky, as a mature summoning beast, Zunli consciously disassembled the lightning rod into 12 sections, and then held the 12 sections of lightning rod and quickly rushed to Bison's home, which was also his own home. Looking at his movements, he was really very skilled. In fact, he was. During this period of time, Zunli didn't know how many times he had done this. When Bison told Zunli that it was about to rain, Zunli would consciously take the lightning rod to the hillside, then assemble the lightning rod, stand under the lightning rod, and quietly wait for the sky to thunder. And when the sky cleared, Zunli would disassemble the lightning rod and bring it back. So, Zunli arrived home. At this time, Bison was also waiting for Zunli at the door. As soon as Zunli appeared in front of Bison, Bison directly opened Zunli's system properties page. Summoning Beast. Zunli. Race. Overlord Thunder Ant. Talent. Overlord Heavy Thunder, Overlord Thunder Force, Thunder Armor. Shared Talent. Intelligence. Evolvable. Evolution Requirement. Sky Thunder 10,000 10,000ths. Whether to evolve. Looking at the 4 big words at the bottom, Bison couldn't help but smile. Finally, Zunli was struck by Sky Thunder 10,000 times, and 10,000 Sky Thunders were stored in his body. Now, with the help of the system's power, Zunli can complete the 3rd evolution. Thinking of this, Bison directly said, Zunli, come with me to the basement, I will grant you the 3rd evolution. Hearing Bison's words, Zunli's honest face finally showed an excited and ecstatic smile. CB. It's Zunli, finally got the 3rd evolution. After the 3rd evolution, it will gain the powerful and terrifying power of shadow. This is really great. Thinking of this, Zunli quickly placed the lightning rod where it should be, and then he couldn't wait to follow Bai Dong to the basement. In the basement, Zunli bowed his head very respectfully and stood in front of Bison, waiting for Bison's order and the start of the 3rd evolution. I have to say, in these years, Bison has trained the 4 summoning beasts, Gale, Zunli, Red Clothes, and Shadow, to be extremely obedient. It is precisely because of this. Bison doesn't need to say much for a long time. Looking at the 4 big words at the bottom of the Zunli system attribute page, Bison made his choice without hesitation, evolution. At the moment Bison made his choice, the gray and chaotic evolution light emerged from the void again. This time, The evolutionary materials needed for Zunli's third evolution are in Zunli's body. So after this gray and chaotic evolutionary light emerged from the void, it drew a straight line in the void and poured directly into Zunli's body. Boom! A thunderous explosion sounded. Just like a broken dam and a flood bursting through the dam, the rolling thunder rushed out of Zunli's body like a raging flood, and almost in an instant, the entire basement was turned into a thunder field. Crack! 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 This is purple gold thunder, dense purple gold thunder pythons, raging wildly in all directions, as if they want to destroy everything, as if they want to break everything, as if they want to drown everything. Thanks to Bai Zan for making a lot of preparations in this basement. Not only the ceiling, floor, and surrounding walls are made of insulating materials, but they are also very hard. At the same time, Bai Zan also added a lot of sealing techniques and barrier techniques to the ceiling, floor, and walls to ensure that there is no cure. Of course, this violent lightning could not destroy the basement, but it could hurt Bai Zan. So at the first moment when the thunder was spreading, Bai Zan activated the storm battle body, or the burning battle body. The violent purple gold lightning passed through Bai Zan's elemental body without hurting him at all. And the thunder was bathed in the purple gold sea of thunder, undergoing its transformation and evolution. Just like the third evolution of Shadow, even if it is just evolving, the momentum is so great. After the evolution is completed, the momentum of the attack will be even greater. Such violent thunder, and it is purple and gold, it is really dazzling and luxurious. The talents after the third evolution of Shadow are Yin Dun Control, Shadow Domination, and Night King Phantom Eyes, none of which represent strong attack, destruction, and destructive talents. This is caused by the attributes of Shadow, and the attribute of Thunder is Thunder. The most violent, the loudest, and the strongest attack attribute. The elemental Bai Zan looked at the violent and raging thunder, and murmured to himself in a low voice. The Yin Dun Control talent can finally allow Bai Zan to observe the evolution of thunder. Bai Zan saw it. The thunder bathed in thunder is undergoing transformation and evolution. The body structure is upgraded, the head, the body, the limbs, the beetle wings, everything is deforming, twisting, and reconstructing. The original Zunli was an upgraded ant that looked like a centaur. And now, Zunli is getting closer and closer to a centaur. His limbs are deforming. The four legs at the back are getting closer and closer to the hooves of a fierce horse, and the pair of hands at the front are getting closer and closer to the hands of a demon. The head is the same, becoming more and more hideous and more Hokage, like a bloodthirsty battlefield killer god, and also like a tyrannical tyrant who dominates the war. And the heavy insect armor that looks like a full body of heavy armor is also becoming more and more rough, more and more hideous, more and more Hokage, and more gorgeous. And the gold pattern on the purple insect armor is also slowly spreading, making this set of generals in the battle. Finally, it was the pair of insect wings on Zunli's back, stretching and deforming, with purple gold lines and purple gold insect wings. It was like a general wearing a dragon robe, just like the ferocious and domineering general's armor turned into the emperor's armor rendered in purple gold. Everything was so harmonious. General and emperor, killing and domination, destruction and domination. Similar to the previous evolutions, Zunli's body was transforming while absorbing thunder and energy. So, when Zunli's form finally stabilized, the violent purple gold thunder also entered Zunli's body and was completely digested and absorbed by Zunli. At this time, Zunli, like a centaur, had reached a height of 9 meters. From a distance, he looked like a small rockery, heavy, majestic, and hard. Fortunately, Bai Zan's basement was made very large, like an underground square, otherwise it really couldn't accommodate Zunli. That is, with the completion of Thunder's evolution, the system prompt sound of Lian Shi rang directly in Bai Zan's mind. Ding! Evolution completed. Opening the Summoning Beast attribute page. Opening. Summoning Beast. Thunder. Race. Emperor Thunder Tyrant Ant. Talent. Lightning Style Control, Tyrant Emperor Thunder, 10,000 Thunder Power. Shared Talent. Intelligence. Evolvable. Evolution Requirement. Truth-Seeking Ball 1. Just after the attribute page popped up, the system prompt sounded. Ding. Strength. Talent Shared. As the last system prompt sounded, an extremely dazzling purple-gold electric light suddenly burst out from Bai Zan's body. Trademark Crackle. 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 The thunder was continuous, dense and violent. Accompanied by the thunder, countless purple golden thunder pythons were inside and outside Bai Zan's body, constantly entwining Bai Zan, ravaging Bai Zan and attacking Bai Zan. Skin, flesh, bones, internal organs, even the brain, all were thunder, all were purple golden thunder. They carried extremely shocking momentum, wanting to destroy Bai Zan and heal Bai Zan. In this destruction and healing, Bai Zan's body was constantly strengthened and strengthened. In this destruction and healing, these violent and mighty purple golden thunders were constantly turning into Bai Zan's power. This process lasted for half an hour before Bai Zan finally regained his composure. Quickly adapting to his current strength and body, Bai Zan slowly opened his eyes. After exhaling a breath of turbid air, Bai Zan clenched his fist. How strong is my power now? 300 tons, or 400 tons, or 500 tons. One punch breaks rocks, one kick cracks the ground, it doesn't seem to be a big problem. That is to say, even if I only rely on the strength of my body, I can match Tsunade's strange power. Such power is really powerful. Such sighing, Bai Zan cast his eyes on the system attribute page of Thunder. Emperor Thunder Overlord Ant, the overlord with the power to pull mountains and the spirit to conquer the world, such power may barely count, and there is also the word Emperor Thunder. Single quote. It should refer to the second talent obtained by Thunder after completing the third evolution, Overlord Emperor Thunder. Just listening to it, you know it is an upgraded version of Overlord Heavy Thunder, but I don't know how much difference it is. Lightning style control. This talent is the same as Yin Dun control, which is to greatly improve the control of lightning style, and there is nothing to say. Quote. There is no need to explain the talent of 10,000 thunder power. It is the terrifying power I have now, enough to break rocks and crack the ground. So now I need to test it, and the only talent left is the Overlord Emperor Thunder. As he said this, Bai Zan stretched out his right hand and activated the talent of death. Crack, crack, crack. Accompanied by the sound of thunder, a ball of purple gold spherical lightning the size of a basketball was held steadily in Bai Zan's palm. The purple and gold intersect and blend, appearing violent, extremely domineering, extremely gorgeous, extremely brilliant, and extremely cool. The dense electric currents spread in the ball like snakes of electric current, circling, running, and raging, but with a kind of balance, making the shape of this spherical lightning extremely stable. So that's it, this Overlord Emperor Thunder is a fusion and upgraded version of the two talents of Thunder Armament and Overlord Heavy Thunder. I can not only control and adjust the quality of this Overlord Emperor Thunder, but also adjust the shape of the Overlord Emperor. 320, this is really powerful. After sighing in a low voice, Bai Zan directly dissipated the spherical lightning. However, Bai Zan did not retract his palm. Instead, he took a deep breath and continued to whisper to himself, next, let me see the changes of Scorch Style. Suddenly, the flame of Scorch Style rose up. At this time, the flame of Scorch Style was red, gold and purple, and the light, fire and lightning blended together, looking extremely cool. The color has changed slightly, with more purple, and the gold is more intense. In terms of form, it is still neither light, fire nor electricity, but it is like light, fire and electricity, but it is also more inclined to the form of lightning. Similarly, this group of Scorch-style flames also has the properties of Overlord Emperor Thunder. I can control and adjust its weight and shape. The lightness and heaviness are just a thought away, and the speed is the same, so it is much more flexible. And I can feel that the power of Scorch-style explosion is much greater, which also means an increase in the attack range. Very good. I should be able to fully master this new Scorch style before graduation. With that, Bai Zan immediately dispersed the Scorch style talk. After carefully feeling the chakra in his body, Bai Zan quickly calculated in his mind. After a moment of silence, Bai Zan nodded and said, Scorch style has been upgraded again, and its power has also increased a lot. Plus my chakra amount has also increased, which means that I can control the innate power of shadow more easily. With sufficient chakra, Yi Wang Huan Tong will not lose to Mangekyo Sharingan. If you count it this way, my strength should be equal to a Senju Hashirama who has just awakened Wood Style plus a non-Chia Madara who has just awakened Mangekyo Sharingan. Maybe I am not as experienced as Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara of the same age. But with summoning beast, I should be able to beat Senju Hashirama who has just awakened Wood Style and Uchiha Madara who has just awakened Mangekyo Sharingan. Yeah. Even if I don't use summoning beast, I won't be afraid of them both. So now I should be considered the peak of Kage level. Although there are Super Kage level, and 6 Paths level, but I am not in a hurry, just take it slowly. Quote. I am considered the top Kage level, Shadow and Thunder are considered ordinary Kage level, and Gale and Red Clothes are considered elite Jonin. Have I become so powerful without realizing it? Really, not bad. After sighing for the last time, Bai Zan looked at Thunder. At this time, Thunder, like a centaur, is already 9 meters high. With such a height and such a body shape, it is really like a small rockery. Such Thunder, even if it lowers its head and pretends to be obedient, loyal and docile, is still full of deterrence. But Bai Zan didn't care. It was good this way. It would be more deterrent to the enemy and make the enemy more afraid. I haven't moved to this house for long. This basement is comparable to an underground square. Even so, it can't accommodate Zunli. It seems that we have to move to another house. This time, we will move to a house on the edge of Konoha, and then issue a task to let the ninjas who are good at earth style to help. Build a large underground square under the house, and then enclose a forest next to the house to raise summoning beasts. Once and for all, it will save us from having no place to put the large summoning beasts after we recover them in the future. But Zunli's current size can stay in the basement, but it can't pass through the passage. It seems that we can only summoning out. Thinking like this, Bai Zan couldn't help but sigh again, and then continued to think, even if we summon out, there is no place to put it. Let's move first, enclose a forest, and then use the power of the ninja to arrange Zunli's residence before we can summoning Zunli out. Quote. After making the decision, Bai Zan raised his head and said calmly, Zunli, you are too big, so you will stay in the basement for a while. I will deal with the rest as soon as possible. Listening to Bai Zan's words, Zunli, who had been trained by Bai 0.6 Zan to be extremely obedient, just called out respectfully, G. Seeing Zunli's reaction, Bai Zan estimated the time and turned around and left the basement. Then, Bai Zan took the money and went to the Hokage building. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who had a good impression of Bai Zan, was very happy to help Bai Zan with a series of procedures when he had enough money. Then, with some Chunin and Genin who were good at earth style, Bai Zan started to get busy at the edge of the forest. Ninjas are powerful after all. Ninjutsu is magical after all. So, it only took 3 days. Bai Zan completed another move. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and support our channel.